Sit back, relax, put your belt on, and enjoy the show.
Let's just get into the pod then. For entree, this week, Draft Rugby round 4. We have the buys for the Brumbies and the Highlanders. Super Rugby AU, let's rip through that first. The Rebels and the Waratahs, I mean, do we have to talk about this game? I know I'm wearing a Waratahs jumper, but I don't have any other jumpers that I could find easily. That's my only excuse here. Lads, who wants to take us through that shit fight, really?
Yeah, so the Rebels got up 33-14 over the Tars. I think we were hopeful that the Tars were going to put up a better showing than this. You know, our justification was always going to be that the Rebels don't score tries, but apparently everyone scores tries against the Tars. So returning for this one, you had Lalakai Feketi, who came back off the bench from his shoulder injury. He replaced Tepai Maroa, who is just absolute junk. Injuries, you had Will Harrison. He had a hip complaint. I think he played most of the minutes he normally would, but he wasn't kicking at goal. So devastating for most of the fantasy managers that rely on him kicking at more or less 100% every single game. Possession pretty heavily weighted in favor of the Tars. They had 60% of possession, 64% of territory, but just didn't know what to do with it, which has been a bit of a recurring theme for this year. Look, I just think the Waratahs at no point did they ever look like they had a way to win this game. They didn't look like they ever had the ability to score multiple tries or put the Rebels under pressure for long periods of time at all. I think that the Rebels were kind of doing whatever they wanted, for a team of, Pincus, Anderson, Illy that have struggled to actually make any impact in attack. The three of them were having a bit of a field day. Illy in particular, I thought was excellent and just cut apart the Waratahs defense, definitely not the Australian defense. Tamua, brilliant solo try, I think was a highlight where he kind of ran sideways and some broken play. It was very rugby league-esque. The game just falls to shit a little bit and the defense relaxes and all of a sudden a hole appears. He sliced through and put that chip over the top. I thought that was awesome. That was very good to watch.
Yep.
But really, it was just the Rebels dominating the Tars in every single facet. So the Sun Tars well and truly
alive,
owning the name.
I think you just summed it up by saying that the Tars are that bad that they made Stacey Illy look good. You know what I mean? That was it.
Yeah, that is impressive.
Tagline of the game.
Look, I know your favourite Kagi, your favourite moment of the game was Pony for Amal Sealy running back from those goal line dropouts.
Oh, mate, look, I'm not really the biggest rugby league fan, but maybe I need to tune in more if there's more of that. Pony running it back, that was just, I was living for that. And clearly he was too, you know what I mean? He waits every week for that. It was fantastic stuff. Interestingly,
it was a pretty attacking-minded game. Rebels 468 metres, Tars 494, 23-14 tackle bust. The Waratahs led, 14-10 line breaks, Waratahs led, but the Rebels threw 13-6 offloads, which is pretty massive for them. And, tackle success, 83, 84%. The Tars better there as well. All those numbers are pretty solid. And I thought the set piece was pretty good on both sides as well. So, and line out and scrum. So there's not a lot in those stats. It was just the Tars' inability to actually hold a solid defensive line. Fantasy man of the match for this one, Harry Johnson-Holmes, who just is the gift that keeps on giving in the front row at the moment. 55 points for him. He had 15 runs, 7 of 7 tackles. He played all 80 minutes, so got a couple of bonus points for that.
Back at loosehead as well.
Yeah, he played loosehead. He can do whatever he wants.
I wonder if that means he'd lost a few more kilos, so we'll see some more carries and more workload.
I don't think so, mate. Tetra Faulkner will be straight back to the bench and he'll be back to tight head. Maddox, 49 points. Dempsey, 46. I thought Dempsey was very good in attack. He kind of carried them on his own shoulders a little bit. Nelson didn't seem to be as impressed with him, though. Corabetti, 46 points. Don't pretend you like Dempsey.
No, I hate his attitude. I don't hate him on the field.
Tom Pincus, 45 points. That says everything you need to know about this game.
Wow.
Matt Tamua, 45 as well.
Very good. Yeah. No, the Tars, they had like maybe 30-second patches of looking like they could play rugby, but they were few and far between. So
followed by 79.5-minute patches where they couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. I'm not looking forward to the preview. But all right, Nelson, speaking of a team or two teams that can play rugby, though, the Reds and the Force. Do you want to take us through that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say two teams, definitely. But this game was...
I think that's even harsh.
Yeah, no, this game...
Compared to the Waratahs, at least.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Anyone can. But no, look, this was the Reds beating the Force 26-19. Worth noting, I think it was 19 all. A good chunk of the way through this game. So the Reds, only did sort of break away, or not even break away, get that win later on in the game. But we had the return of the excitement machine, Marcel Bracchi.
You've already talked about him too long.
He should be injured again, hopefully. And
no, just not big, thanks.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bad injury. Just
Either or is fine.
Yeah, just don't be in the lineup. And then Kahui, he failed an HIA. I think it was 22 minutes into the game. What are you doing? I'm disappearing here. You're trying to fix that. Yeah, no, look.
It's that shirt, mate. It's the shirt. It's a crime. It should never have been worn.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Look, the possession and territory went the way of the Force, 58 and 57% apiece. For me, this was such a good game from Paisami. I think we just see him, strengthen week to week. And this is a game that he just showed. He's got some powerful lines. He's bumping people. He's scoring tries. He is getting better and better week in, week out for me. Is he impressive?
Mate, he was already bumping people, putting on hits, but it's just his silky skills, his attacking play. And he's a ball player, as James O'Connor was saying. Mate, devastating for the guy who picked him up saying he was going to have a big year this year and then had to drop him because of a double bye. It was hard to watch for me this week, but God, he looks good.
Yeah, no, he was.
Wallabies 12.
100%.
Yeah, he has to be Wallabies 12.
Or Matt Tamua, James O'Connor.
I want one of them to be on the bench, and I want Hunter Paisami at 12. But anyway, how good.
Attacking mindset. Look, in terms of this one, it was actually interesting. It was a pretty good set piece battle. It wasn't necessarily the way we thought it was going to go. Robertson and Greg Holmes had a massive dominance, I reckon, in the scrum early on. Really, really surprised me with that. When Brendan Pangamosa came on in that second half, he really shored up their scrum. But the next two scrums, they won the next two scrums.
It shorted up initially. Like they then won a scrum or two, but then the Force came back.
They came back when Medrano came on as well. That really strengthened them. So I think there was a bit of evolution throughout that, which was quite interesting.
Surprisingly interesting battle.
Yeah, it was some great chess. You know what I mean? Like the Reds, like we'll bring on BPA, and then the Force, like we'll bring on Medrano. It's awesome. Yeah. Also,
I think Vunivalu, introduced himself to world rugby with some absolute brilliance. He had a little, basketball throw off. Tate McDermott had a dummy, a step, fended a few players before, I think, finding the last man.
He threw Jake McIntyre back in next week.
Yeah, he threw him. In terms of the attacking stats, I think this is where the story, deviates for me. The Reds had 306 to 230 meters, 25 to 11 tackle busts, 12 to 3 line breaks, 13 to 3 offloads. So that's where the big difference is. They also, the Reds had 11 misses from their 141 tackles, where the Rebels had 25 from their 110. The penalties, the Rebels actually did. I mean, the Reds did worse in this one with 15 penalties compared to the Force's 7. The fantasy man of the match was Tate McDermott, my boy. He was actually the top Aussie performer of the week with 70 points, 8 runs for 21 meters, 5 tackle busts, an offload, a try, and 2 try assists. This guy is entertaining. Hunter Paisami, 50 points with 2 tries himself. Suliasi Vunivalu, 44 points. Angus Scott Young, absolute workhorse, 42 points. And Jock Campbell, 41. And Pony Fa'amausili, 41 points.
The funny thing with Tate McDermott was he should have had another try. Remember where he was 2 meters from the blind side and he was just going to pick up and dive over.
He would have had it.
Who was it from the Reds that tried to shovel the ball over from inside the ruck?
Ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
I don't know how Pony got in there, but he actually didn't play in this game. But he was so good in those run backs last week. Yeah, I did. That was my bad, actually. But no, it was good. I think, look, and I'm sorry, but we do have to revisit that Suliasi Vunivalu, that big run. I love Drew Mitchell's line in the commentaries. He just said, it's like he was offended that Jack McGregor thought he could tackle him. It was actually Jack McGregor. He threw him into, as you said, into next week. And I think he said in 3 strides, he covered like 15 meters. He'd done a dummy, a step, and a fend off in like 3 strides. It was just unbelievable. So
it showed what he can offer. I think I'm very excited to see more of it.
Yeah, no, it's huge. Excellent. Well, no, those are some good games. The Force, as we've said before, look, they're actually really calm, composed team, have a really solid defensive structure. Set piece is amazing. They just need a bit of that attack, but we'll get into that in the preview. So
mature, and you'd expect that when the average age is 40 and they start finding a little bit of cohesion.
that's true. I'm surprised that the average hairline isn't more similar to yours, though, but they've still got some
What
nice
amazing.
Yeah, it's very good.